Hi everybody, it's Marcy, and I'm here working on my December Junk Journal Challenge 2020 for Dear Julie. And today I'm going to be making, what am I making? 3 notebooks or notepads. The paper I chose for this, we needed to have 8 scrapbook paper pages. And I chose this Craft Smart from Michael's Gilded Berry. This was a hot buy last year. And so I decided to use that. The other thing you will see a lot of in this are these Christmas photographs from Lorna Taylor at TaylorMade Journals. I wanted to use these before this Christmas passed, and so I'm making them work with this journal. They're just absolutely fabulous images, and I wanted to use them. I've got them printed in multiple sizes. I don't believe I have all of them, all the pages here, but this just gives you a sampling of what there is, and I absolutely love them. So you'll see those popping up a good bit. Okay. So I'm just going to get started, and the first thing I'm going to do for this little notebook, this is the end sheet out of a book. And I'm just going to use that for the cover, but this is old. It's from the 1940s. And when I folded it, it did crack a bit. So, which is fine. I mean, this is a junk journal, but I'm using this organza ribbon. And so I am going to take some of that, and I'm just going to put it on the outside of this. I don't... it's organza ribbon. I don't expect it to have a lot of holding power, but it'll be better than having nothing there. So, and I'm just using my art glitter glue for this because I don't want the shine of the Fabri-Tac on it. And I'm putting the glue right along that spine too. I should have grabbed a wet wipe before I started. So, I hope everyone's doing well today. Finished our 12 days of Christmas, and that was, or 12 days of Digis, I'm sorry. And that was a lot of fun. But now I've got to get busy on this journal. This will be my last Christmas journal of the year. And, okay, so I'm going to set that aside and let it dry for a minute. And while that is drying, let's move on to this one. Here I've just used some of my scrapbook paper cutoff, and I'm going to make a matchbook style little notebook. And I've got some papers. I just went into I've got a drawer over here to my left that has a bunch of my scrap. Well, I call them scrap neutrals, although there was a pink sheet in there that I honestly, it feels like pink copy paper, but I don't have pink copy paper. I'm not sure where it came from. Maybe it was in Happy Mail or something. I don't know. Okay. So, matchbook style, and that's fine, but I I've already creased it right there, but then my papers are a little short. So I want to move my papers up a smidge. And like I said, here's a piece of coffee dyed, piece of Highlights magazine, the pink, some more coffee dyed that actually has a little stamping on it. I just tore the edges, a little piece of pink lined paper. So literally I thought, well, these little notebooks will be a good time to clean out the scrap bin. Okay. So I'm going to fold that up a little bit more. That's about a good height, but let's be sure we're straight. So I hope everyone is doing well. I've seen a lot of my YouTube friends suffering a bit from some ailments, some migraines, and different things, and I hate to see that. Okay, so I like that a little better, but okay, that'll work, but I need to trim just a little bit off the end here. I'm just going to chop that about 1/8 of an inch, and that ought to work just fine. I'd love to know what you're working on, and if you're taking part in the Dear Julie December challenge. Next month, of course, will be our Just Junk Journal challenge. And Julie's already said that basically the only hints she's given are collect junk, save your junk, and she did say, I'm pretty sure she said something about this one will be a little different than they've been, but then last year's was a little different than it was the year before. So I've been, basically every bit of junk mail that comes in now goes into a little tote. Waiting to see what our parameters are going to be. And okay, and I'm just stapling this. And then that, I didn't cut it quite far enough because I put the staples up a little higher. There, that'll work. All right. So now, sorry, I got to pull my sleeves up. I didn't mean to throw my arm up in your face. Okay. Anyway, so I always enjoy the January Just Junk Journal Challenge. I'm looking forward to that. Now for this journal, I will be cinch binding it. I did not, since I'm using cardstock scrapbook paper, even though it's not it's not a super heavy cardstock, but I didn't want to try to bind 8 sheets of that plus 7 other papers through. I just saw that being potential disaster for me, so I'll be doing a cinch binding on mine. Come on. I don't know if it's clogged or if I'm just not being patient enough and letting the glue get to the bottom. I think it's clogged. Might be time for me to clean that little tip out. Nope, that's not enough. Ow! Don't do that. Okay, so while I'm meddling around with this, that hurt. So my husband and I got our Christmas tree, and we used to have, well, we still do, out in the shed, have fake trees. But over the last few years, we've really enjoyed going and picking trees and getting real trees. And this year, you know, stating the obvious, but everything is so different this year, and we're not going to have our kids here. It's just going to be my husband and myself for Christmas. And normally what we normally get is, you know, a nice big tree that's really full and really fun to put every ornament for the last 30 years that we've collected on the tree. Plus we do ornament exchanges, so every year we get even more. Yeah, so it becomes something of a thing. This year, given that it is going to be so different, I kid you not, we went to the tree lot at the church. Every year, the church sells trees and raises money for the church. And we went up there and we decided, as we were pulling into the parking lot and looking at the trees, we had already decided we want the smallest, scrawniest, Charlie Browniest tree we can get. Because we decided it's just going to be us, let's have some fun with it. You know, and kind of the thought of, if we got a, no, I want that one there. If we got a great big opulent tree, opulent, I don't know that we ever get an opulent tree, but a great big full tree, it might have the undesired effect of sort of highlighting what we're not going to be able to do this year. So we decided, all right, well, we'll just have some fun with it. So we look, and as we're pulling into the parking lot, we see all the smaller trees. It's like, okay, well, we know where we need to go to look. So we get out of the car, and then over to our left, not where the rest of the trees are, but next to the trailer where the people selling the trees set up and go in to stay warm. we see they've taken it. They don't even have it on the lot for sale. This horrendously pathetic, well, it's horrendously pathetic Charlie Brown tree. It's alive. It's got some greenery on it, but the trunk is basically the poor tree never should have been cut yet. It was nowhere near ready. So they'd taken it and just put it in a little tree stand just to have it there. And we walked up to them and we said, I don't want to glue that quite yet. My husband said, "That's the one." And so we walked up to him. We said, "Okay, here's the deal. That's the tree we want. Will you sell it to us?" And the guy looked at us and he said, "This one?" And I said, and I told him, I said, "Yes, we want a Charlie Brown tree this year. We agreed that that's what we want." And he's like, "Well, that's exactly what we've been calling this one." And I said, "Well, we want to give it a home." And he's like, "Well, okay." He said, "We don't have a price tag on this tree." Sorry, I'm trying to think and figure out what I actually am going to do with this. Oh, do you see my pretty dryer sheet? I washed a load of reds and I got this pretty dryer sheet color. Okay. So we got that tree, and I tell you what, we have had so much fun with it because you can't, I mean, it has one very small strand of lights on it. It has about 6, maybe 8 ornaments on it. And it's the greatest tree ever. You can't walk by it without smiling. I mean, it's just impossible. Which is the effect we wanted. So, I don't know. That was a long way of saying that's our Charlie Brown tree this year. And we absolutely love it. We absolutely love our little Charlie Brown tree. And the poor guy, he honestly didn't know what to do, what to say, because they certainly didn't have a price on the tree. And he was like, "Well, I mean, everything goes to the church, so basically, how much of a donation do you want to make to the church?" We're like, "That's fine. I mean, we didn't expect you to give it to us."
December Junk Journal. 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 December J
I will need to trim it. Little matchbook with several little note papers in it. So there's number 1. And I didn't do the best job with this one, but I just love these images. And so, like I said, I'm drawing most of the ephemera and stuff that I make for this journal will have one of these images on it. And I've already made some. So, okay, let's see. This one should be dry or dry enough. So let's get it. See how it's doing. Okay, and I've got, again, using up scrap papers out of my little drawer. So those will just go right in there. And move my glue book out of the way for a minute. This is from the paper pad, so I think I'll just put that right down there on the front cover. Okay, I'm okay with all of that, but something right in here. And I don't know what it is yet. So that I may need to come back to. So I think for this, what I'm going to do, I've got the pages in there. And originally, I was going to bind this, but because that spine is not the greatest, I think what I'm going to try to do, if I can find the center, is just take this ribbon basically make it kind of flow style. Okay. I think that'll work. Sorry I got so quiet, guys. Yeah, that'll work. And that way I don't have to worry about that already compromised spine there, and the ribbon moves a little bit, so I think that'll work just fine. Okay, so leave that one and find something. I just don't know what. Okay, so just a little bling on there. And there is notebook number 2. Okay, so let's get notebook 3 done. Okay, for this one, again, I've got a piece of the cutoff, a cutoff from the scrapbook paper. And this one, I believe this is cut, it was actually flowers going up both sides. So I've just turned it and not done a very good job folding it. Where is my bone folder? All right. And again, I've got several little scrap pieces of paper, including some book pages. And they will just go right in there. And where did... ink this up a little bit. Oh, I know one thing I didn't tell you guys. Cropping up for the end of the year is my general practitioner is leaving. And so I've got to find a new one. Yay! She says sarcastically. This doctor has been my doctor for 14 years. And this punch, I just got it and wanted to try it out. It's a PVC card punch, and I saw somebody, I don't remember, I think it was Rachel at Roxy Creations. using one similar, and I thought it was so neat. So I wanted to give it a try. Plus, I'm tired of talking about my doctor, so okay. So I think what I'm going to do, no, let's go ahead and cut off some ribbon. And I want to put the ribbon through. But then, before I tie it, I want to open this up and tie the ribbon with it open because I want my pages to be able to move. Okay, and so what that does, and I'll probably put a bit of glue on that bow, it leaves the loop a little bit loose so that then my pages can turn freely. So I think I'm going to enjoy this punch as I'm learning. You know, it'd be great for tags or whatever, but I hadn't tried it yet, and I wanted to try it today, so I thought I'd use it on that. Okay, so that's that, but I think we're going to give this one a few extra bling. Since it's a larger image. Yeah, that'll work. And get the backing peeled off. Come on, there we go. All right, and I always add just a little bit of glue to these because I don't trust the sticky to hold. All right, so there's our very simple flip-up notebook, and we've got our matchbook notebook and our sort of flow style notebook, just because I didn't want to compromise the spine anymore. So there are my 3 little notebooks. Until next time, everyone, please be safe, stay healthy, happy crafting, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.